Why Shatta Wale refused to snitch on Boahen. Hold on tight, because what we about to reveal will shock even Shatta Wale's closest fans. The king of dancehall might be flexing on social media, but behind that yellow Lamborghini lies a story of corruption, fraud, and a dangerous game with the FBI. This isn't just about a car. It's about power, money laundering, and how far some will go to protect their secrets. Here is why Shatta Wale refused to snitch on Boahen, the embattled former Director General of the National Signals Bureau, in terms of the yellow Lamborghini, forcing him to reveal that he bought the yellow Lamborghini from the street without also revealing who on the street he bought the Lamborghini from. Before delving into this episode, as promised in our previous video, smash the subscribe button. So many people are wondering if Shatta Wale is really that careless, not knowing who he bought the yellow Lamborghini from after ranting on social media about being a third-party owner and dissociating himself from embattled former Director General of the National Signals Bureau. Shatta Wale, in videos evidently on social media, made it known to Raymond Archer, economic and organized crime boss, that he bought the car for $150,000 and had all proper documentation to back his ownership. But when he was arrested and asked a couple of questions, he couldn't produce a single receipt to support his claim. In fact, below is a full press release by Economic and Organized Crime. Upon detaining Shatta Wale, Charles Niamensa, aka Shatta Wale, interrogated and granted bail. Charles Niamensa, also known as Shatta Wale, was invited by EOCO to assist in investigations surrounding a 2019 Lamborghini Urus. A car identified by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the United States Justice Department as proceeds of a $4 million crime involving one Nana Kwabena Amoa, a Ghanaian who is currently serving a jail term in the United States of America. The investigation forms part of a larger inquiry regarding possible co-conspirators in the $4 million United States dollars crime, which occurred in the United States involving some Ghanaians, and recoveries of the proceeds of the crime. Following requests from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the United States Justice Department, EOCO began local investigations in respect of uncovering possible co-conspirators in Ghana. EOCO began looking for the vehicle until it was identified and seized in or around May this year in the possession of Charles Niamensa. On the 15th of August 2025, a United States District Court of the Eastern District of Kentucky, Central Division of Lexington, in a criminal case of the United States of America versus Nana Amua, issued an order forfeiting substitute asset on the Lamborghini Urus in question, authorizing the United States government to take possession of the said vehicle in Ghana as restitution for the crime. On the 5th of August, 2025, following a public claim by Charles Niamensa that he purchased the car at a price of $150,000 United States dollars from an unidentified party, EOCO issued an invitation to Charles Nama to report on the 13th of August, 2025. The appointment was rescheduled for the 20th of August, 2025 at 10 hours in the morning to assist with investigations. Counsel for Charles Ama indicated to EOCO officers that they will report at 11 a.m. in the morning. EOCO readjusted his schedule to align with their time. Shortly before 11 c, counsel for Nyama called EOCO to claim that his client was not available and that he was busy. EOCO indicated to counsel that he and his client were expected to report as scheduled. Charles Niamensa arrived in the office around 3 hours in the afternoon and insisted that he was not going to cooperate until his counsel arrived, a right to which he is entitled and which was accorded him. EOCO investigators and Charles Niamensa waited from 11 in the morning until 5 in the evening before his counsel showed up. Incidentally, EOCO's closing time is 5 in the evening. Nevertheless, EOCO staff and the entire operational team chose to carry on with the interrogation, which ended around 9 in the evening. Officers eventually left the office around 11 hours at night. Niama was granted bail around 9 hours in the evening shortly after interrogation ended. He was granted bail of 10 million Ghana cedis with 2 shitties to be justified. Once the shitties are presented, hopefully this morning, EOCO will undertake shitty inspection, which is a standard protocol, after which Charles Nyamensa will leave custody. So far, Charles Nyamensa has been unable to identify the person from whom he purchased the said Lamborghini Rose vehicle, except to say that he purchased it from the streets and from someone possibly called Zach, who may have contacted him on WhatsApp, but whose identity he does not know and whose contact he has thrown away. So far, Charles Nyamensa does not also possess any documentation in terms of receipt or transfer documents which show that he owns or purchased the said vehicle, except a customs declaration document in his possession bearing the name of Nana Kabana Amoa, who is currently in jail. As released by Economic and Organized Crime, Shatta Wale declined to reveal who he bought the yellow Lamborghini from, risking him getting linked directly to Nana Moa. This isn't ordinary. It forms part of a bigger cause of chest, a lesser disgrace over a bigger one. Now here is the truth. Shatta Wale's expensive cars are all supplied to him by Aduba, not for purchase purposes, but on a rental basis and also for washing it off purpose. So basically, Shatta Wale receives a subsidized amount on lease cars from Boahen, and then he flexes on his colleague musicians with it, calling them broke and lazy in the process when in reality the cars aren't his. The relationship grew beyond leasing cars and flexing with them to washing their dirty money with his brand, which would in turn be of great benefit for him. He gets to keep some of the cash and drive the cars for a longer period. This relationship would have gone unnoticed if Boahen wasn't busted for corruption for stealing close to 50 million Ghana cedis equivalent to $4.5 million. While knowing that his end is near, he ventured into the car rental business, Dreams Enterprise Limited, a firm that has over 90% of its cars stolen from abroad. Knowing that he could be exposed in the future for car dealings, he tried to wash the brand with some legitimate cars. And since he can't do so in his name because he is a public servant and asset declaration, the law could expose him. The best candidate to help them unleash their plan was Shatta Wale, their customer who rents cars from them at a subsidized amount. Boahen, through his behind-the-scenes associate, and very corrupt old man Leslie Queno of Fantasy Dome settled on Shatta Wale and then, boom, started purchasing some expensive cars, which include his set Rolls-Royce A Move, Stoneboy was very much aware of, and the reason why he attacked Shatta Wale during that radio interview. One thing you should bear in mind is that Shatta Wale cannot register any of these cars under his name, mostly the Rolls-Royce, because Aduba's legal team would have serious issues with him over breach of contract. The East Lagan mansion he claimed to have purchased is also another side of the money laundering and asset concealment he is running for Boahen. Common sense would tell any well-meaning human being that if Shatta Wale decides to throw Boahen under the bus as the one who gave him the yellow Lamborghini car to wash it off the face of the fet for him, Boahen would also counter back by collecting all his assets including the mansion, the Rolls-Royce, and other cash from him, leaving him with a much bigger disgrace. Shatta Wale would rather go to jail than face such a humiliating ordeal at the hands of Ghanaians and rival fans. He is now left to prove who on the street he bought the car from or face extradition from the FBI to the USA over allegations of conspiracy and keeping proceeds from fraud for keeping a yellow Lamborghini purchased by Nana Kabana Amoa, a fraudster currently serving his jail term in the USA. In our next episode, we will explore how Shatta Wale could escape a potentialist tradition from the FBI. So there you have it. Shatta Wale's yellow Lamborghini isn't just a flex. It's a trap. A game of dirty money and secrets that could land him in jail or worse in the hands of the FBI. The only question left, will the king of dance hall survive the storm, or is the Lamborghini his ticket to disaster? Stay tuned because in our next episode, we'll reveal how he might just dodge the FBI's grip. Smash that subscribe button if you want to catch every shocking update. You won't want to miss what's coming.